What's up guys, my name is Jellycook5 and welcome back to another episode of the F1 My Team Career Mode, and today we are in Baku. I forgot to record the start, so here we are, we're straight into things with the practice programs and away we go in Baku. A circuit that we really struggled at last series. If you haven't watched that, do go and check it out. I have got a playlist of all my F1 episodes that you can watch from the start to where we are at the moment in Season 2. In terms of the actual circuit itself, it's a very tough circuit to run. I don't actually like it more than anything. I feel it hampers in terms of straight speed is really hard on that long straight on the end. I feel the corners are really tight. This is the worst part of the circuit that I have. So you're coming up here, you've got a fairly bit of a straight, so the corner's actually fine on that initial one, but going here, I absolutely hate it. I mean, as you can see, you get right tight to the wall, then you've got to get even tighter on the right-hand side to then get the full acceleration out the corner, and from there, I mean, but yeah, in terms of the actual performance on track, I felt really slow, and that was my issue. Didn't feel quick whatsoever, and I just had really kind of a bad practice program, a really bad practice. I mean, and not the best qualifying. And yeah, it's one of those. I mean, we'll get into qualifying in a bit, and you'll see. But I cannot kind of praise the actual the performance at all. But we get into things with the practice program. As I say, we do what we need to do. We're going to get the points that we need to get in the R&D and just the practice programs in general. We do actually struggle, in all honesty, to actually do the practice programs. We're decent on the speed trap, but I just felt so slow on the straights. I felt like I was getting caught up so much in terms of time wise. As you can see, the first lap we only go to P8, not the best whatsoever. We didn't really even go into the practice side of things in the leaderboard. I don't even want to go and show you, because we're here now, we're in qualifying, and away we go then. We have literally got our teammate right behind us. Yes, Esteban Ocon is right behind us. We're only going to do one lap, as I feel like that's all we're going to need. I don't feel like I can improve any whatsoever. Please don't think I'm being negative in any term, because it's really hard to be positive about something that hasn't gone that well. And then we're going to have times like this. We're going to have times where we're really quick. We're going to have times where we can be good on track, but this definitely wasn't one of them. But we're going to try and do the best qualifying we possibly could. Don't look too bad at the moment, look fairly clean. I mean, as you can see, I look fast, I don't look bad. I think that's the stupid thing. I didn't feel awful, but I just wasn't getting the points where there were some corners I would lose like 200 of a second, 300 of a second, and that's what would be my issue. And I couldn't make it up in the actual lap time itself. So I felt like there was too many errors and too many mistakes that led me to this kind of thing. I kind of based my lap times more off Esteban Ocon as well, because as you can see, he started right behind me when we went over the checkered line for the first lap of qualifying, and he's actually pretty much stuck with me also, so we're not shifting Esteban. And no offence to Esteban, he has not had the best of seasons, and he hasn't had the results that he would want, in all honesty. As you can see, he sticks with us very well. We're going to go on the last straight then. Fernando Alonso completing his lap. He's got the fastest lap as of the moment. He tops the leaderboards as we try and see what we can do on this particular lap. Esteban Ocon making up a decent amount of time just behind me also, and as you can see, that puts us into P3 momentarily, but that definitely was not the case throughout in this site. And unfortunately, as you can see, Esteban Ocon not too bad, P11, P15 mid qualifying, so pretty far at the back of the grid. We are going to be starting this Baku Grand Prix.
Forget fuel management. It's pedal to the metal all the way here as we get ready for today's sprint. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and Fernando Alonso completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Oscar Piastri, Russell, Hamilton, Leclerc, Sainz, Perez, Verstappen, Gasly, Ocon, Stroll, Albon, Bottas, Cook, Sargent, Magnussen, Sonoda, Joe, Sato, Drugovic, and Nick de Vries. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint.
2 races then. We've got a sprint race. I forgot to mention that. We've got kind of time to make up position. It's 5 lights and away we go then as we get a decent start. Bottas to the left, Albon to the right, Stroll moving into the middle, kind of making no sort of overtake whatsoever. Still maintain the same position as P5 as we try and see if we can get past Valtteri Bottas, and we are through on the Alpine machine, and we've got another one of Pierre Gasly just in front. We've also got the Aston Martin of Lance Stroll, sorry. We make a double overtake momentarily, but as you can see we're wheel to wheel with Stroll, and Gasly has made a decent exit through that corner, and he is up into P12 then, a decent exit, meaning he did get above us. As you can see, Lance Stroll battling on that one. We go late onto the brakes, not that late though, because we can't maintain the position past Pierre Gasly, and we have to stick in P13 at the moment. And with this being said, I don't really think there's going to be much room for position moves, that is for sure, because I feel like we're going to be in this sort of position. But as you can see, Max Verstappen, he's currently in 10th place. Esteban Ocon's made a brilliant start. He's into 9th at the moment. One more place and he could get the points as we go wheel to wheel with Pierre Gasly, and we are through then. We're up into 12th. We've made some progression. I mean, we've made up 3 places so far. Not too bad, if I may say, as we are through now, and we're going to see if we can try and get past Alexander Albon, hoping that our teammate will be holding up Max Verstappen also and make some sort of a fight in this sprint race. And it's all about trying to see if we can just make up the time, all honesty, and kind of get a betting starter position for the next race, and kind of being in a better place for it, and just kind of get some decent points more than anything. I feel like that's what we're going to be aiming for. There's going to be no podiums, we know that. We know we're not competing in this sort of Grand Prix. Not many laps in this race, as you know. It is a sprint, 6 laps left, but we are making up some time. Esteban Ocon slotted into 10th, as you can see just in front of us. Alexander Albon is right in front with Pierre Gasly still behind us. Stroll in 14th. Verstappen has got past Ocon then, and it is all to play for in this sprint race. It's all about making up the kind of better grid for the next race as we go really tight through that corner. Pierre Gasly is right behind us. Is he going to take a look and try and see if he can overtake? Lance Stroll in 14th. He is not far behind either, as we are going to get DRS. DRS was enabled on lap 3, and this is a time to be able to see if we can make up any time whatsoever. Albon is right in front of us and he is there for the taking, that is for sure. We're going to use our ERS, we're going to get the DRS also at a certain point when we do hit this part of the track, and this is going to be the time where we can make up a lot of speed where Albon won't, and we are going to make up some time. As you can see, 500 seconds at the moment. The gap is really close. The only thing is though, when the laps continue, they are still the same positions as currently. Verstappen has only made it to 9th, a decent lap on the sector 1 actually. We have made up some time on Albon, but this part of the track we lose a lot of time on, and the AI looks really strong through this part of the track, getting on the power really early compared to what I can. We have still maintained a decent bit of time, 500 per second as of the moment. It might make effect on the straight, who knows, as it pretty much is near to the end of lap 4, and there's not a lot to play for, but it is all about kind of making up the grid, that is for sure, as we make a decent kind of straight on this part of the track with Alexander Albon right in front of us. We've definitely got him in for the taking now as we go really good through them set of corners, really tight to the wall. That's the best place you could possibly be in this circuit, as we have made up a decent bit of time, and we are through on Alexander Albon. We're in to 11th, sorry, with 10th just in front of us, our teammate Esteban Ocon. It's nice to see him competing, that is for sure. Lap 5 of 6 then, and it's literally not many laps left whatsoever. Albon is sticking behind me as of the moment. He's still only 200 of a second as he tries to take a look on the outside line, but it's not to be for Albon. But through we are still out in 11th. Stroll is into 12th then. He's overtaken Pierre Gasly, and we are battling to try and just make up these positions. Esteban Ocon is running a really good Grand Prix. He is right in front of us, but the one is going in front of us is Alexander Albon. He is through. He's up into P11 once again. Getting the DRS really helped for Alexander. The good thing is though, this is for sure, because we are back on Alexander Albon. We are through. We had to outbrake him on that pit of the corner, and this is lap 6 of 6 then, the last lap left. And as you can see, Lance Stroll has made up a decent bit of time. He was in the running to be able to try and see if he can overtake Albon. Checking on the engine, checking on the car. The tyres are pretty warm now, that is said, and Albon is a decent gap behind us, 700 per second. So we have made up some time, and we should be able to at least maintain this position. Esteban Ocon is right in front of us, 2.5 seconds at the moment. Verstappen 3.6. No way would we be making any sort of time up on that kind of group on the grid. That that is for sure. We're going to have to live another day for that one, and we're going to have to try and battle in the big race. It's going to be a hard and long race, that is for sure, but we are definitely there to try and see if we can bring the battle to the grid and see what we can kind of do, and hopefully just finish in the points more than anything. I think that's what the kind of thing we need to aim for. I think it would be still an improvement on last season because we didn't get any points either in the sprint or the main race. Obviously we're not going to get anything in the sprint race, finishing P11, but it's the case of maybe trying to get points in the main race and bettering what we had last year. I think some points are better than none, and that's where we might kind of better in the championship and kind of finish in a decent position. Obviously we finished 6th, or that wasn't the best, but a top 6 finish in the first season is definitely one to talk about. Alexander Albon is still trying to see if he can take an overtake as we threw our hands up there as we did collide momentarily. Albon going really deep into the corner as we've got the final part of the circuit then. Let's see if he can make up any time on me whatsoever. We're going to use all our ERS we possibly could. Lando Norris winning the sprint race, an unlikely winner, but it is a good one to see as Lando is a different winner in this sprint race, and it looks to be that we should just be okay unless Albon is going to make up a significant time. He's making up the time though, that is for sure, but the checkered flag is being waved, and that is a P11 in Baku for the sprint race, and we definitely look forward to the big race and hoping that we have got a better point position on the grid. As you can see on the leaderboard, the top 3 of Norris, Alonso and Hamilton, with Ocon just finishing above me in P10.
You all at home for today's Azerbaijan Grand Prix, a race that in its short history has already proven no stranger to drama, and where a 4th row start is just about as likely to give you a podium as pole position, with Lance Stroll and Sergio Perez finishing 3rd from there in 2017 and 2018 respectively. Baku City Circuit then. It's an unpredictable 3.7-mile track around the streets of the Azerbaijan capital. 20 turns for our drivers to navigate today, including the infamous Turn 8, one of the tightest and most challenging corners of the season. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Leclerc, Oscar Piastri, Sainz, Verstappen, Ocon, Cook, Albon, Fernando Alonso, Stroll, Gasly, Bottas, Sargent, Magnussen, Tsunoda, Perez, Drugovich, Sato, Joe, and Nick de Vries. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. And it's an absolute pleasure to be joined once more by Anthony Davidson.
And with me as usual is Anthony Davidson.
Can I get your take on Ferrari? We have a number of changes to the aerodynamic regulations this year, and the signs haven't looked good for them so far in terms of getting to grips with those changes.
It doesn't look promising for them so far. And if the new regs have hit them as hard as we think, well, I suspect they may need a few late nights at the factory to get back.
Here we go then for the second time this episode. It's the main race. There's 18 laps instead of 6. The 5 lights are there and they're going to be out. And away we go then. Our teammate Esteban Ocon in 8th, Verstappen in 7th as we make a decent start then as we're on the right hand side. We go early on into the break to avoid any sort of collision. 3 wide then as we do collide momentarily with Verstappen. Going into the wall then, collision with Verstappen, and we do fall into P10. Not the best of starts whatsoever as Albon is now battling the previous person that we was battling in the sprint race. Is there again also Esteban Ocon getting the best of Max Verstappen. He's up into P7. Brilliant drive at the moment for Esteban. Really nice to see as he is battling it out as we go left to the brakes on Max Verstappen, and we are behind our teammate. Our teammate is in 7th then, ourselves in 8th, Sainz in 6th, so it goes Sainz, Ocon, myself, Verstappen, and then Alexander Albon getting the final points as it stands as of the moment, as Max Verstappen is right on me, Ocon right on Carlos Sainz also. He's battling with the Ferrari engine to see if he can make any sort of move. Really interesting to see, that is for sure, as Verstappen is right behind us, Esteban Ocon just in front as we try and make a move. I don't think we're going to be able to this first lap as we do lose some time there going through that corner. Late onto the brakes we had to be, but it kind of didn't work in our favour, that is for sure, as we go fairly slow through this part of the track also, and this is a real weak point of our kind of area of the track as Esteban Ocon goes into the distance, and 1.2 seconds spits us at the moment as we come to the end of lap 1 of 18. This is going to be a long race, that is for sure. I feel like it will probably last forever if we do maintain in this position. I am used to battling at the front, don't get me wrong. I feel like it does make it more of an enjoyable race, but we're here for the points, that is for sure. sure, and we're here to try and prove a point as we do complete this lap then as we go through the final straight, seeing if Max Verstappen makes any sort of move on us whatsoever. I don't think he's going to have the pace just yet to get onto this one. Max Verstappen having a really poor season so far in the second season. Obviously he was reigning champion last season, making it 3 in a row for the Dutchman as Lewis Hamilton gets the fastest lap, but as I was saying about Max Verstappen, it doesn't seem to be that he can get that Red Bull working. Neither can Sergio Perez, as it looks to be that the Red Bull machine does look weak. Purple Sector 1, a rare sight, that is for sure. Wasn't expecting that as we are weak through this part of the track. As you can see, Esteban Ocon is still in front of us. We go late onto the brakes and we are through on our teammate, making sure that we don't collide with our fellow teammate. And through we are into P7, a big leap up into 7th then as we've got Carlos Sainz just in front. Charles Leclerc P5, and as I can see we have got a McLaren engine leading the race. I'm pretty sure that will be Norris. It's either going to be Lewis Hamilton or George Russell, and then it's going to be Oscar Piastri. Big step up for the McLaren engine. This is amazing to see, and it is really nice to see other competitors on the track. Carlos Sainz just in front then. He's got about 800 of a second gap at the moment. The straight's not going to come into a full effect until the DRS is enabled as of this end of this lap. Obviously it gets enabled lap 3. We are going to use a little bit of ERS, not too much because we need to maintain our speed more than anything. It's vital to be kind of being like that also because you have to be. I feel like if you don't, then you can be really kind of lacking in some areas of the track when it comes to the latter kind of stages where you are battling it out with other drivers. That is to be said. Lewis Hamilton getting the fastest lap, George Russell getting the fastest lap. I don't think we're going to get anywhere near that. Max Verstappen actually getting the fastest lap as he battles out with my teammate Esteban Ocon. Esteban Ocon also battles with myself as we go wheel to wheel on this particular part of the track. Max Verstappen slots in behind us. We go on the outside. Ocon's got the inside. He tucks it behind me and we are through. Esteban will be getting DRS, but he still remains a decent bit behind me. And as you can see, Max Verstappen's also made a jump up. He's gone past my teammate in so he's gone up to 8th. My teammate now in 9th. Sainz making a decent time up, and I think this is it in all honesty. I don't think we're going to improve on this whatsoever. As you can see, Carlos Sainz is 3.2 seconds above me at the moment. A real big gap as at the moment as we've had 5 laps that have happened out of 18 so far as we come to the end of lap 5. Going on to lap 6 then. Max Verstappen is creeping up on me. Can he make a move on this part of the track? He's definitely got the space. He's definitely got the pace. And Max Verstappen is through. Can we go low onto the brakes as we go wheel to wheel through that particular part of the track? And he has made a decent gap up and he has pushed me onto the outside of the wall. And he is through, and we're going to try and go on the inside now. Have to maintain the time, and we are going to get DRS on this straight. As long as we can get a decent exit, then we'll be catching up to him. Decent exit we do get. Max Verstappen still looking strong without the DRS. We're putting the ERS on also to try and get anything that we possibly can out of the car. He switches onto the left hand side, trying to block the move on the inside line, but we are through. We do push him onto the outside, and he does collide with the wall ever so slightly with his right hand tyre, and we are through up into P7. And Carlos Sainz in 6th, Charles Leclerc in 5th. I'm pretty sure it's still the same up top is also, and this is a big battle and just a battle for points more than anything as Max Verstappen is still behind us. Here he is then. Is he going to take a look on this particular part of the track? We throw our hands up and he is bashed against the wall. What has happened? He has lost his front wing. Virtual safety car being commenced in this Grand Prix. Once again, there is a story to tell between myself and Max Verstappen, and it's only about the duel that we are currently having on track. Obviously in Bahrain we completely collided, and that he has lost his front wing, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be the end of his Grand Prix more than anything, because he is actually going to pit. It might work for him though, the undercut might work for him, but bearing in mind he has actually got stopped for longer, and he is going to have to replace that front wing, so it's going to be a big kind of loss for Max Verstappen. I had no room to give whatsoever. I was completely through on that part of the track. I was on the left hand side, I was right to the curb. There was no way that there was any sort of room. I completely blocked it off, but Max got through me, and I just don't even know. So we've got a virtual safety car then as we're reducing the pace to try and match the delta, making sure that we don't get any flags or any penalties. Valtteri Bottas out the session also, so he's had a mechanical failure. Very interesting to see, that is for sure. And return to racing speed then, and away we go for the second time in this Grand Prix. Lap 8 of 18, we are pitting for the medium set of tyre, hoping to get an optimal pit stop to be able to try and get out of here. But is Verstappen going to make a look on us? That is easy to see as we kind of look at the mini-map. Max Verstappen must be 21st, 22nd. He's going to be there. He's there. Look, he's there. He's going on the right hand side. And Max Verstappen is on the softer tyre. Whether he's going to do that for the whole entirety of this Grand Prix, I'm not too sure. But he is through. He's up into P18 as of the moment. But as the pit stops will commence, obviously that there's going to be places made up there also. 4.4 second gap as of the moment. And Max Verstappen is currently on the fastest lap also. He's definitely not looking slow. And he's definitely got something else to prove in this Grand Prix. Hoping to get into the points after that big collision with myself going on that particular part of the track. Onto the wall. and losing his front wing then as we come to the end of lap 9 of 18. No DRS as there's no one in front of me, and no DRS for the person behind me, I hope also, as Pierre Gasly does make up a decent bit of time. As you can see, he's on the medium set of tyre as we bang against the wall. Teammate is in the pits then. Big collision nearly made on the wall as we do check and make sure everything is all good with that one. As you can see, there's other people pitting. What places do we make up? There's a few people in the pits more than anything. Pierre Gasly is right behind us also. Interesting to see, and we've only made a few places up into P16 as it stands at the moment on lap 10 of 18. Max Verstappen is blasted past in that way. 4.7 seconds at the moment. He's looking to try and see if he can make a move on Yuki Tsunoda in the Alfa Romeo machine. He's on the harder tyre as of the moment in the Alfa Romeo. Whether that's going to make any difference on track, who knows. The medium set of tyre doesn't look too bad. It doesn't feel bad. Some decent lap times being made, better than what I was previously making on the softer compound, which was interesting. It's always nice to see. At least it is an improvement, that is for sure. As we come to the end of lap 10 of 18, as we go round the final bend then, as you pretty much flat out on this particular part of the straight. There's no point putting the brakes on or letting go of the accelerator because it's all pedal to the metal, as Pierre Gasly is still right behind me, 700 per second. Bit more time compared to what was previously on that last lap. I think it was about 900 seconds, so he has made up some decent time. It's about 600 per second at the moment. Max Verstappen once again getting the fastest lap of a 144.486, I'm pretty sure that was. Really, really good lap from Max Verstappen. I'm only in the 146s. Oh, Jesus. That goes to show me that I'm slow. Up into P12 with those pit stops also. A lot of other people to pit, as you can see. But we're up into P12. A lot of time being made up, that is for sure. And hopefully, just hopefully, we can do anything to try and get past anyone in this Grand Prix. Lap 12 of 18 then. Max Verstappen still a healthy lead just in front. Carlos Sainz in 6th, but the one that is worrying me is Fernando Alonso in 9th. The Aston Martin machine has really crept on me. Pierre Gasly is right in front. Unfortunately, Esteban Ocon isn't having the best of races, and as you can see, Max Verstappen pits momentarily and Fernando Alonso tries to make a move, so we're up into P7. A big jump for us. Verstappen not making the softer tyre last, unfortunately, and that will be the end of his race, that is for sure. An unexpected one, but a really nice one to welcome, that is for sure, as we charge on in this Grand Prix then. If we come out with a P7, I'll be happy more than anything. I think that would be for sure a really kind of hard Grand Prix that we've had, and not the best of ones either. Fernando Alonso is going to try and make a stop to that though, as he wants the P7 position. He's going to make a move on the right hand side. He's not even going to need DRS by the looks of it. He goes wheel to wheel, but we do kind of maintain our position for the moment in time. He will get DRS though. We're trying to use as much ERS possible and try and make it all worthwhile. As you can see, Pierre Gasly is on the right hand side. He's going to take a look at Fernando Alonso. Can we escape the overtakes? And we can. Pierre Gasly going up into P8. He is now trying to get the battle for P7. The Alpine machine is definitely not out of this as of yet. His teammate might have conked out, but he isn't, that is for sure. Lap 14 of 18 then, as you can see, Leclerc in 5th, Carlos Sainz in 6th, myself in 7th, Pierre Gasly in 8th, and Fernando Alonso in 9th, and it's all the battle for P7 as of the moment. As you can see, Pierre Gasly making up a decent bit of time. He's trying to take a look and see if he can have any point where he can overtake. He is right in for it at the moment. He's definitely going to be waiting for the particular straight where you do get DRS, or any point that he can make a move, in all honesty. He is right behind me for Fernando Alonso, not so far either as we go wide through that bit of the track. Pierre Gasly making sure that he can try and make up as much time as possible. He can maybe try and see if he can take a look as he gets even closer to me. He's not going to make a look just yet, and he's definitely going to be patient, but that patience will run out, that's for sure, and I reckon he will try and make a move at any point he could possibly can and make his points worthwhile in this Grand Prix. We're coming to the end of lap 14 of 18 then. He is right there. He's going to make a move. He's got DRS. He's on the right hand side. I've got the inside line. He's got the outside. Through he goes momentarily. Is it going to stick? Yes, it is. Pierre Gasly up into 7th then. Brilliant overtake from the Frenchman as we go on the outside once again on this particular part of the track. Decent exit, and we switch places literally seconds between each other. But as you can see, Pierre Gasly back into 8th, Fernando Alonso right on the back of Pierre Gasly in 9th. I'm not too sure who else is there, but there's a fair few drivers. Esteban Ocon dropping down the pecking order. The good start from Esteban, but unfortunately it doesn't seem to be that he's going to make it a decent end to his race. And it's a really unfortunate one with that also, because I felt like he was doing really, really well, and he did well to where he was. Resume racing, as you can see. What that is, I'm not too sure. It has someone else conked out of this Grand Prix. As you can see, Fernando Alonso just behind me. Interesting to see if he's going to make any sort of move. He's made a move on Gasly. Can he make a move on the Aston Martin machine creeps on the right hand side? He's got DRS. Gasly on the right, as you can see. Also, is he going to make a move on Fernando? Is Fernando going to make a move on me. We are through on Fernando Alonso. Fernando Alonso just behind then Pierre Gasly in ninth, and they're battling it out toe to toe. The positions keep swapping and changing. It is unbelievable how up and down this Grand Prix is. Even though it hasn't been the most exciting in terms of the position that we've been fighting for, at least it's been good fun by battling. Fernando Alonso going on the right hand side. He's got DRS. He's going to make a move, and away Fernando goes. It was only a matter of time before he did overtake me because he looked really quick. Going to try and shove it up the inside, but it's not to be as he closes off the gap. Fernando goes through, making up a decent bit of time, already half a second as of the moment. Now we've got to worry about Pierre Gasly. Can we hold this 8th position? Can we get points? Who knows? As we try and see if we can get to the end of this Grand Prix unscathed and hoping that we're going to get some points. But as you can see, we're into 9th. Pierre Gasly is overtaking me on that particular part of the straight right at the end, but he's gone the inside line. Can we make a move on this particular part of the straight? Lap 17 of 18 then. He is blasting away with that. Fernando Alonso in his own world, about 3 seconds at the moment, near to 4 seconds. He's on the softer compound, so that's obviously worked with the strategy, him starting on the mediums. As we go to the end of this lap, Pierre Gasly is blasted off with it. Really unfortunate, and we're really trying to hold on for this position. Alexander Albon taking a look on the left hand side as we smash into the wall there. Really uncomfortable, I feel, in this car with the tyres completely shot and the engine not looking the best, as Alexander Albon is just behind us. Lance Stroll in 11th. So if Alexander Albon overtakes and Stroll, then we're not even going to get in the points at this rate in this Grand Prix. Who would have known that at the start of this? Honestly, it's absolutely crazy the way it's turned out. But it's been an exciting one, that is for sure. As Alexander Albon is still behind me, just trying to shut off any gap that there possibly is, just to be able to try and maintain this position at least. And that's all we can do, and that's all we can hope to do more than anything. Also, it's really hard to kind of be able to kind of hold your position on this track because there is a lot of overtaking points, and there is parts where if you're not strong, there's going to be a lot of time made up, that is for sure. As we go through the part of the tricky part of the circuit that I find tricky, the part of the circuit where I'm really not comfortable whatsoever. As you can see, time is being made up behind me. Alexander Albon is just behind me as we do our most possible best exit and just to be able to get on the power as soon as possible before Albon does. The Williams machine is right on the rear view mirror. He is definitely going to take a look on that particular part of the straight. Whether we can hold him off, who knows. George Russell being the winner of this Grand Prix. Respect to George, a really good race it seems to be, as Albon bashes into me, and a kind of similar collision to what we had with Max Verstappen. Albon kind of shuts off, holding the other drivers up. Also, can we at least get the points? As you can see, as we're on the final bit of the straight, all pedal to the metal. I'll get my words out in a minute. I can't even explain what's going on, it's that crazy. Alexander Albon is still behind us as we go on to the part where we don't actually have any more bends. It's pure straight. Is Alexander Albon going to make up the place? 300 per second as of the moment. I think the Williams machine is going to stick behind me, which is a good thing because we are going to finish in P9. Not the best of Grand Prix in terms of the results that we really wanted, but in all fairness, a decent one because we have got some points. We could have been much better. I mean, we was in 7th at one point, but there was too many cars that were too fast for us. Pierre Gasly getting driver of the day. Really good drive from Pierre. Fair play to him. He was in P8, but our teammate was in 14th in the end. That's the best drive for him so far. As you can see, George Russell and Lewis Hamilton. Oscar Piastri 3rd. The first podium for the youngster. A really, really nice one to see also. As we look at the table then, we're 4th currently in the constructors and in the driver standing. So at least we're still in a decent position. 21 points off of George Russell as he stoops into the lead. And this is definitely going to be interesting as we've had a 4th, we've had a 3rd, we've had a 1st, and we've had a 9th. All looking forward to Miami now and see if we can change our luck, and hopefully it does. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Please like and subscribe for more content just like this one, and don't forget to hit the notification button so you never miss a video. Cheers.